The round 100 bag can be a pretty fearsome opponent, especially in expert maps on chimps, but if you have a tower like a Mad, it can just melt away like nothing. But the big issue is affording it. On chimps mode, $70,000 for the tier 5 alone is quite a big price tag, so if I'm going to want to get it on Sanctuary Chimps here, which is an expert map, I'm going to have to do something crazy. So this video is a follow-up to the Megalodon on Sanctuary video, where I tried to use the Rocket Storm to save up to a Megalodon, which didn't quite work out, but that gave me the idea of just going for a Mad on Sanctuary Chimps, which would probably be a very fun little challenge, and I feel like I definitely could do it, so I'm giving it a quick try here. The early game is going to be pretty much the same. I'm going to be getting an early Churchill on round 26 using that same early game that I found, which is really nice. It's a very nice and easy Churchill, much better than having to like waste the space for a sub or something like that and having to get airbursts, all that gunk that nobody wants. So I can just go straight into the Dartling Gunner with 2 snipers and the 2 Desperados, and then that 100 NG, and then with some micro and some fun little tricks I can get the Churchill down pretty early, and then I'll be able to just move straight into the Dartling Gunner, and I'm going to be pairing it with the Balloon Solver actually to be able to get Mad. Using this and having the Balloon Solver, I'm able to just beat the rest of the game with nothing else, so I will be able to get Cash Spare 2, which is really nice. Now, there are 2 ways that I was thinking of working this out. Because I was going to get the Balloon Solver, I can get the tier 4 at least to help out, and then with the Rocket Storm, I could try to save up into the Mad with just this, which would be getting it early because I'm starting on a super early save up for the Mad. As you can see, having like $25,000 going into 62 is quite something, and I was thinking I could just try this approach. There's nothing wrong with not trying it. If not, I'd have to just buy the glue gunner later, so it's definitely worth a try. The only thing is that I didn't want to buy Alchemist on the Rocket Storm, which is something that you definitely want to buy if you're doing a Rocket Storm save up. It improves the Rocket Storm greatly, but the thing is that the Alchemist will be very hurtful if I were to go for the Bloon Solver build instead, so going into Bloon Solver and then using that to save up for the Mad, because if I were to have Bloon Solver, the Alk buff would be completely pointless, because I'd be using the Rocket Storm more for Moab damage with burst from the ability than having it clean up ceramics, which is something that the Solver would be able to do. So I hold just on that, and I kind of find the same thing that I found on the Megalodon video, where it can do a great save up. It can do a really good save up, but it's not going to do something super insane like getting a $70,000 upgrade like this Mad, let alone like the what was it, the Megalodon that I was trying to go before. This could push to 80, I definitely believe, if I were to get the Alk buff for it, which would help out a lot. But on round 75, I found I couldn't beat it without buying the Alk buff, so I said it's better just to cut the losses trying to go for a super early Mad, and instead just go for Bloon Solver first, and then I will be getting the Mad later on round 91. And this was a bit of an ambitious push. I wasn't really sure if this was going to work, but I thought this would just be a lot better than struggling with the Rocket Storm on round 81. So I decided to do this. It's a lot of cash wasted, but I will push on and we'll see where this brings me. So I ended up having to get a Moab Shove, which was fine. It would be very useful on a bunch of rounds and would allow me to actually get past round 90, which is pretty interesting. But we're coming up close on this MAD, and it definitely looks like I'm going to be able to get it. On round 90, I had to upgrade this guy to Foam. I would have really needed that later anyways, because the Bloon Solver doesn't have camo. So we get that up, and then with the School Trick, that actually took a long time to get, but I was able to pop the 2 DDTs with the Artillery Barrage, and then shove the last one without having the other ones being targeted, which were being barraged. So I was able to take that down, and then on round 91, I got the Mad pretty easy. It definitely was a pretty tricky save up, and there were some tricks and decisions that I needed to take good action on, but once I got the Mad, everything went down super easy. There was no issues, and it was just like a super satisfying late game, just seeing the Bloon Solver and the Mad combo, especially on such a difficult map like this. It's really nice to just breeze through this like it's no care in the world. That's not something that you'll really ever get on Expert Chimps, where you can just like get an overkill setup and the late game is free, even all the way up to 100. 100, which is pretty cool. So I'm able to take that down and all of that. And then on round 98, I did a really funny thing where I just used the ability and absolutely destroyed one side, and then Balloon Solver could just clean up everything. It's just so satisfying, as you clearly can see. And then I stalled out this round a little bit because I had the heli, so I could do that just in case I needed abilities and all up for round 99, which I did need, so pretty good that I did that. And then it's time to go on to 99 and 100, and we can finally see the Mad destroy round 100. So round 99 comes here. I end up having to use the ability for the Mad, which is fine, but that actually makes it so round 100 got very close, which I thought was really funny. I went into this expecting, oh my goodness, we're gonna have like the coolest round 100 ever, but without the ability and with the track being this short, it surprisingly did get really close. It took many attempts to get that to work. The solver just wasn't getting a few ceramics, all this, all that, but with 44,000 cash spare, this definitely was a very cool challenge. Luckily I didn't have to spend anything on 100. That would just be embarrassing, but yeah, awesome challenge. Thanks for watching. If you want to help out the channel, you can check out these new videos, like and subscribe for more content, support the channel by becoming a member, and joining the Discord to chat with the community. Bye!